Welcome, North Texas business owners, to Sell Your Company for Maximum Value. I'm Michael D. Rubin, founder and CEO of MDR and Associates, in the studio with Jenny Swain, our CFO.
Hello, hello.
Welcome, Jenny. Before we get the show started, I'd like to give a shout out to the Dallas Stars getting past the first round of the play. Did you know they made past first round?
You know what? I have never been a hockey fan, but I've been actually paying attention.
Yeah, we're recording from the AA at WBAP studios.
That's
right. So welcome. Congratulations, Dallas Stars, getting past the former Stanley Cup winners and champions last year, Las Vegas. We're moving on to the Colorado Avalanche.
That's right.
Are you a big hockey fan like my family?
No.
Not really.
Not
no,
so
no,
much.
no, no, no.
No.
Do you like watching it at all? You never watch it?
I like watching it because it's fast-paced, but I don't know any of the rules. I have no idea. All I understand is when they go in the penalty box, it's really cool. That's about all I get.
Yeah, and the fights used to be a lot more, but they've kind of settled down a little bit.
I don't know. They're pretty intense.
They are pretty feisty out there.
Yeah.
Well, way to go, Dallas Stars. All right, we're going to get into our show this week. We're currently going through my brand new book, Sell Your Company for Maximum Value. If you're a business owner and you've been building your company for 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years here in Dallas or in Texas, we have offices in satellite offices in Austin, San Antonio, Fort Worth, and Houston. I primarily sell businesses in Dallas, Fort Worth. I've been here 45 years now. 45 years in DFW. Can you believe that? Got here in 1978.
You've seen the change, then.
I've seen the change, but I sell a lot of companies where, like Peterson's Landscaping, our first closing of the year, right? Between $3 and $5 million sale. They started in 1979.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, if you're a business owner, you'd like a complimentary copy of my book, Sell Your Company for Maximum Value. It teaches you the 15 levers to increase value in your company. Then hit me on my confidential and private cell phone. I'm giving it out right now. First 5 people to hit me on my private cell phone at 469-995-6060, 469-995-6060. I'll give you a complimentary copy of the book, and I make those calls tomorrow on Monday from 10 to 12. We've had a lot of people come and visit with us at the firm. So about 27 people have come in to the firm and contacted our firm off the radio.
It's exciting.
And this is our 10th week. Last week I said it was our 8th. That was our 9th week. This is our 10th week on the air. If you've been a listener and you're continuing to listen through the book, we appreciate it. We started in chapter 1, Stop Making the Donuts. We moved into, we started talking about listing the company and what you do, building the marketing package once we take it, and engagement or listing. But we're pretty selective. We choose 1 out of 4, 1 out of 5.
Yeah,
they select us, we select them. They become clients.
Right.
We only serve 15 to 20 per year, folks. Since I lead each transaction as the founder CEO, we've done over 225 closed transactions since 2008. So with all that experience, I tried to maybe hire some salespeople, grow the firm from about 15 through about 20, 21. And I decided I think we're better off if it's a founder-led firm where I handle every transaction. Yeah. And so we're founder-led transactions. We're a Christian firm. That just means, I love Jesus. I wouldn't say I'm religious, but I have a relationship with Jesus. I just like to treat people the way I would want to be treated, following the golden rule. If you're a Christian business with Christian values like ours, in our firm, that means we're high integrity, high transparency, high confidentiality at all times. So let's get into Chapter 10.
Okay.
Chapter 10. Last week we covered finding the perfect buyer. Didn't you find that interesting, to qualify buyers ready, willing, and able in the middle of the process to bring the top 3 or 6 buyers to our seller and do what? Have the magical buyer-seller meeting, which is Chapter 10.
Right. And it's really cool when that happens in the meeting.
It's so cool.
You see the magic happen.
You see sparks flying, and the buyer and the seller get along famously. We introduce, and we go silent. The seller normally tells their story. Take us back to 1984 when you started the company, started the business. Buyer's got questions after that, maybe 15, 20-minute dialogue, and then the buyer starts asking questions, and the buyer actually is going to tell us, why'd you inquire in the business? Why are you so interested?
Right.
Because what have we done? We've already qualified that buyer to ready, willing, and able, meaning we've asked credit score, how much money are you comfortable putting in the transaction? Why did you inquire on this particular business? There's only 2 kinds of buyers we learned last week. There's financial buyers and strategic buyers. Yep. Only 2, right? We just listed a garage door service company this week off the radio. We're going to go to market with it, and we're excited. We're excited. A great couple, founded it 30 years ago. Smaller business, but we're going to take it to market. And I have a feeling there's a garage door service company that'll come calling.
Right, which would be a strategic buyer.
Which would be a strategic buyer that pays a little bit more, a little bit higher multiple, a little bit higher price. But yeah, when that buyer-seller meeting happens, we do those buyer-seller meetings typically at our corporate office in Frisco next to the Star at Legacy and 121 at the MDR and Associates boardroom. We introduce, a seller comes in 15 minutes before. We coach them a little bit, and then the buyer comes in, and they just have a discussion around, are they a fit?
Right.
Our goal is that it's a generational fit to carry on that legacy of the business.
Right.
Right, Jenny?
Right.
And so there's lots of questions. There's dialogue. We ask our sellers to just answer the question, and no contractual negotiations at that point, but just history and employees and competitors, landscape, how old is it, how did they grow, what are the growth opportunities. We discuss all that in an hour and a half, 2 hours, and after that, we've qualified that buyer that's going to make an offer. We won't put a buyer, this is unique to our firm, we will not put a buyer in front of our seller that's not ready, willing, and able to make an offer in the next 72 hours.
Right, right. And we typically will bring 2 or 3 buyers.
100%. We'll have a buyer come at 9, 10:30, 12, and maybe 1:30. Back-to-back buyers seeing each other walk up and down the steps, passing each other, creating that competitive landscape. But the buyer-seller meeting is an interesting part of the process because God kind of takes over. He either breathes on that meeting and sparks are all over the boardroom. It was meant to be. Or it's the wrong buyer, and maybe it's iffy, we missed something, and they walk out. We look the seller in the eye, what do you think? And they say, I'm not sure about that person or that group. Or they say, man, that is the buyer.
Yeah. Right.
I love when the magic happens. On our website, it's sellmycompanynow.com. Go to our website, it's sellmycompanynow.com. Click on the 10-step unique process and look at that. There's a little magic hat by the buyer-seller step. I think it's step 6 in the process. So, it's an amazing meeting. I mean, our job is to find motivated sellers and clean up their financials, which you do a great job of. Take the engagement, bring it to market, and qualify buyers to work towards the buyer-seller meetings where the companies get sold.
Right.
I mean, if someone's been building it, 10, 20, 30, 40. Matter of fact, if you've been building it 10, 20, 30, 40 years here in Texas, been building your business, supporting families, maybe you're a baby boomer or Gen X like Jenny and I, and you're ready to sell. You think you're getting close to that retirement age or you're getting close to doing something else, hit me on my private cell phone right now, and I'll give you a complimentary copy of the book. First 5 callers at 469-995-6060, 469-995-6060. I'll call you. We'll just have a 5 to 10 minute introductory call on Monday from 10 to 12. If you'd like that. If not, we'll just give you a complimentary copy of the book. But I think it's important that people know that the process is pretty daunting. It's long. Typically there's 30, 40 steps. We've simplified it to 10 unique steps. We've chiseled that process over 15 years and 227 closings. But you know what? We champion our business owners. I think it's important to let them know, Jenny, we don't have any other goals. Their goals are our goals.
Right, right. We want it to be a win.
We represent sellers a lot like a sports agent represents an athlete. We want it to be a win. Win for the buyer, win for the seller, and win for the kingdom of God. So you've been in a couple buyer-seller meetings, not to put you on the spot, but what do you take away from the buyers? What's the benefit of setting up the buyer-seller meeting at our home turf, at our pretty impressive office in Frisco, representing our sellers, sitting on their side of the table? I think it gives us maybe a little competitive advantage than going somewhere else. If we're a home-based business broker, don't have an office, where do you do the buyer-seller meeting?
Right, exactly.
Our office gives us a competitive advantage, right?
Right, exactly. And I think also for the seller, it allows for confidentiality, where they're not coming into their locations, into their office.
Confidentiality is important.
So we're able to say what we need to say. They're able to ask the questions they need to ask. And when they come into our offices, it's kind of a neutral playing field. And so it sets the stage for a really good conversation.
Or it's actually a little, I think it's a little bent towards our seller and us in that they're coming into our environment. They're not at the manufacturing plant, at their business, distracted. The buyer's coming into an impressive boardroom. And we set the stage by just introducing them and letting the seller tell their story. And I got to tell you, over the 15 years I've been doing this, That's the step of the process. I just get fired up hearing different stories. I think Pat was the one that brought up a couple weeks ago. There's so many different ways to make money, so many different paths and career opportunities and to own a business.
Right.
I'm just dumbfounded. I remember we had off the radio, we had a guy come in that literally does porta potties.
Yeah.
During the eclipse, he did $40,000 that weekend in porta potties.
It could be a good business. A little smelly, a little messy.
Smelly. You know, private equity says we want dirty businesses.
Right.
There you go.
Oh, that is extremely dirty.
Yeah, and he did millions of dollars in porta potties. So it doesn't matter if you're a manufacturer, distribution, service company, if you're approaching retirement and you want a complimentary opinion of value. Let's talk about that. Look, you don't know if you want to sell until
you know what you're worth.
So getting a complimentary opinion of value from a firm like ours is empowering.
Right.
You don't know if you want to sell until you know your range of what you're worth. We give you a range of what we call the strike zone from low to high. So this week,
how do we do that?
We do it because we've been doing it for 15 years. We've sold almost 230 companies. We know it's going to be 3 to 5 times EBITDA generally. And we give you a range of, okay, like this week, we gave a range to a gentleman at 1.1 to 1.4 million. He liked it. And we loved everything about him. He was profitable, trackable, highly motivated. We liked him. He liked our firm. He liked our Christian values. We engaged. We signed the one-page listing, and we're going to start building the marketing package and shooting the 4K HD video. And so, you don't know if you want to sell until you at least conversation's free.
Right.
I tell my kids all the time, somebody wants to interview for another sales position, go talk to them. Conversation's free.
Right.
And what do they want to know? I want to know, well, how much am I going to be paid? Very similar to this. Like, you don't know if you want to sell till you know how much it's going to add to your retirement, if you can really slow down and smell the roses. Right. And so many times business owners are so emotionally tied to that business.
Right.
We see that in the buyer-seller meeting. It's their baby.
Well, they have trouble casting vision because they're in the details, they're in the day-to-day.
Right.
And so we help them take a big picture look at what do you want your life to look like.
That's a great point, Jenny. That's fabulous. We pull business owner's head all the way up to 40,000 foot and go, here's your business, here's the strengths and weaknesses, here's how you can make it more valuable in the discovery meeting. It's complimentary to come talk with us. Complimentary hour and a half. We say, tell us your story. They talk for the first 20, 30 minutes. We hear their story, their value proposition. Then we tell them the 15 ways to increase value or the range of what the business is currently worth. It's called an opinion of value. Right. We also do third-party valuations for bigger businesses, 3, 5, 7, 10, 15, 20, 25 million. We might send off for a third-party valuation, which is a 150-page definitive document that gives us a value. So we do both of those things. And I'll still offer the 50% off the third-party valuation. I've done that the last few weeks. So either way, get a complimentary opinion of value. Costs you $0 to come talk with us. So if you'd like that, you can hit me right now on my confidential cell phone, direct to my hip. It's 469 995-6060, 469-995-6060. If you send me a text with your name, your business type, I'll send you a free copy of the book. And I wrote that book last summer, Jenny, for business owners to figure out what's the process, what questions do I ask different firms to select one of them? How do you guys? What's your process? How long does it take? What are your fees? All those things are in the book. Sell your company for maximum value, and I'd be glad to give it to any business owner who wants to text me on my cell phone, 469-995-6060.
It might be a good time right now to back up a little bit and talk about why it's a good time to sell. That's a
great point. Every week we say it. So let me give you some startling industry statistics of this industry right now. And just baby boomers in general. There's 77 million baby boomers in the United States. They own 40% of all small businesses in America. 40% are owned by the baby boomers. And they're going to sell them off in the next 10, 15, and 20 years. It'll be complete in about 15 to 20 years. So we're perfectly positioned at MDR and Associates. And there's some good other firms in town. I'd be glad to refer you to some other firms. This is not a slam dunk. Come to us. We're trying to get information out. We're trying to get information out to all the business owners to make an educated decision. We can only handle 12, 15 deals a year.
Right.
We're going to refer to other firms. We're going to run out. We've already have 10 deals. So we're looking for 5 more companies that we can represent this year. But here's why it's a great time to sell. After COVID, private equity and family offices have trillions of dollars. There's going to be a $10 trillion wealth transfer over the next 10, 15 years. You heard me correct. $10 trillion. And they have trillions of dollars right now in dry powder, cash, to go buy companies from investors that if they don't invest, they have to give the money back to the investors at the end of the year. 2024 is the perfect time to sell. If you're in your 60s, you're considering retirement, if you're in your 70s, please call us. I had a gentleman this week call us, 79 years old, right? 79 years old, did 20,000 last year, and he used to do 4 million. Oh. It's too late. Yeah. There's nothing to sell. He's got a patent. The patent ran out. It actually issued twice, and so he renewed it twice. I learned this from him. He can't renew the patent because he already renewed it twice, so it's not even issued anymore. Right. Oh, man. There's nothing I could do. So if you're in your 60s, early 60s, mid 60s, approaching 70, you're thinking about retiring, get a complimentary opinion of value from us right now. If you text me on the cell phone at 469-995-6060, 469-995-6060, I'll give you a complimentary copy of my book, Sell Your Company for Maximum Value. That's Michael D. Rubin. You can text me your name, your business type, and I'll get back to you on Monday. I make those calls from 10 to 12. We're going to take a quick break here in about 20 seconds. But if you're a business owner, continue to listen to the show. We're going to come back here in just a couple minutes with some compelling information on how you can come in, talk to us, and really feel empowered on what you're worth, because you don't know if you want to sell
until you know what you're worth.
We'll be back in just a couple minutes, folks. All right, welcome back, North Texas business owners, to Sell Your Company for Maximum Value. It's funny, we don't call this show Sell Your Company for Minimum Value.
Well, of course not.
Why would anyone want to sell for minimum value?
Right, exactly.
Why did my voice just go so high?
You kind of channeled Mickey Mouse there for a second.
Pat, help me with this. Why did my voice go so high there? All right.
You're a little soprano today.
I was like, yeah. Why? Minimum value is no good. Maximum value. We want maximum value.
Exactly. So maybe you talk a little bit about which types of companies are in our fairway. What do we specialize in? What do we like to help?
Well, we started in 08 selling anything we could, right? A cigar lounge, bowling alley, marina, flower shop, but we've kind of grown up. Well, let's start with what we don't sell. We don't sell restaurants, liquor stores, dry cleaners, motels. We don't sell those. Okay. Right? For various and different reasons. But what we do sell is manufacturing, distribution, and service. Okay. Now ask me why.
Why?
Here's why. Here's why.
WHY.
Here's why. The private equity companies, firms, and the family offices, that's what they want to buy. Okay. And the wealthy investors. Okay. And it's just who we've become. You look at our website, you can fake a lot of things at sellmycompanynow.com. That's our website, sellmycompanynow.com. You can't fake the done deals, the closed transactions. Right. You either did them or you didn't. So we've done a lot of companies that are manufacturers, large-scale manufacturers. We love mid to large-scale manufacturers, like the electric component, plastic. We sold a plastic manufacturer, electric component manufacturer. You make something, it's unique. You've got a niche. You've got patents. That's our client. Okay. Distribution. Anybody that distributes some widget, something. It could be anything. Okay. Right? Distribution company, parts distributor. We looked at one that services all of DFW, every airline. The baggage handler, they do all of that. They handle all the parts. We visited with them. So, it could be a manufacturer, a distributor, or our number one niche is actually service. What have we listed so far off the radio? Right? A appliance parts retail company. Right. A garage door service company. Very excited about that. Right. And an HVAC, commercial HVAC, large scale HVAC. They handle all the big towers in town. I mean, they're big time. They're around 30 years now. Each one of those companies are 30 plus years old. Right off the radio. We're a service. We're number one in Texas, I believe, in service. Okay. HVAC, plumbing, electrical, and any kind of landscaping, alarms. I mean, pest control. Those are the companies we excel at: manufacturing, distribution, and service. Okay. If you're one of those companies, hit me on my private cell phone right now at 469-995-6060. 469-995-6060. I'm the founder and CEO of MDR & Associates. I'll give you a complimentary copy of my book for the first 5 callers at 469. Hit me on my cell, 469-995-6060. Jenny, we're going to have to take a little bit of a longer break, just a few minutes on the show. Yep. Pat's let me know that, but we'll be right back, and we're going to talk about some other things that has to do with buyers and sellers coming together in the buyer-seller meeting. Folks, we'll be right back. Welcome back, North Texas business owners. Michael D. Rubin here with Sell Your Company for Maximum Value with Jenny Swain.
Here I am.
Jenny, our CFO, has done a great job with the financials. I love what you do in our firm, Jenny. You straighten those financials out. You really find all the value in the financials. But, selling a company, I think, is 20% financials, no disrespect, and 80% talking people off ledges.
Probably
I mean, it's an emotional thing, right?
It is.
You sell a car, you don't see the best in people.
Right.
You sell a house, you don't see the best in people.
Yep.
You sell a business, a lot of times it's who they are.
Right. Well, they've invested all their time, blood, sweat,
people
tears,
go, what do you
everything.
Do? People all that. What do you do again?
Yeah.
I'm like a sports agent representing athletes. My athletes are baby boomers or business owners, and I get to walk alongside them 3, 6, 9, 12 months, maximizing the sale of their business, which much of the time is the majority of their net worth. Mm-hmm. So I'd like to go back to talking about the anatomy of a discovery meeting. When someone contacts us, we have a great discussion.
Right.
They agree to come in for the hour-and-a-half discovery meeting. There's really no agenda to that meeting.
No, it's just free flow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You start with tell me about your background. Tell me about your history.
Take me back to the beginning. Tell me how you founded the company. I want to get a sense of how many employees, how big is it gross, net, like how long, how did you grow, how many trucks, if it's an HVAC company, is there 26 trucks or 6 trucks? I want to get the flavor, and then what do I wait for in the very end? What question do I ask in the very end?
Why do you want to sell?
Why do you want to sell? You're driving around in your car, you're listening to this show. Ask yourself that question. Why would I want to sell my company? You know what I've heard in the past? I could name 20 of answers. I'm going to start with just, they're tired. Mm-hmm. Jenny, I'm 53. I'm kind of tired.
Right.
I've been in sales now 28, 30 years. I'd like to, at some point, stop making the donuts, slow down and smell the roses, wouldn't you?
Yeah. There's a lot to think about when you're a business owner.
I hear tired all the time. I'm burnt out after COVID.
And if you have a lot of employees, there's a lot of employee issues.
That's the second thing I hear. Mm-hmm. I love my business except the employees.
Yeah. Well, I mean, most owners feel like their employees are family.
And their family and their blessings. We should talk about that. But I hear a lot of times in that confidential meeting, they're like, man, I just wish I had less employees because there's a lot of issues.
Yeah, ins
hiring,
and outs.
Firing, loans. I can't do it anymore. You have to deal with performance issues. Mm-hmm. Betrayals happen all the time.
Right.
I can't tell you how many times I've heard, well, my bookkeeper took all the money out of our account and and we had to start over. Like I've heard that.
Yeah.
Employees are tough. They're blessings, but they, the more you have, the more you're going to manage.
Right. Well, and then this current environment, you've got all kinds of regulatory issues, reporting, governmental things, administrative.
I'm going to say one other, then give my number out, then give you 4 more. Okay. Mm-hmm. One other is I lost my general manager. Yeah. The key person that runs my business left me.
Right. Yep.
That's just brutal because all of a sudden you're back in the middle of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's not a great time to sell.
When I owned a franchise, I can't tell you the number of times that I thought I was working my way out and I was going to work on the business instead of in the business.
Yes.
And then I had some huge employee that was very important key leave.
Or the one that runs the whole business leaves. Right. I mean, I've seen that.
Yeah.
And a lot of times we say, look, we'll say in a year, but get another general manager and let's get you back out of the business. Listen, if this is ringing in your ears as truth, if you're listening to the show and you're going, that's me. That's me. I think I might be ready. I might at least want a free copy of the book. Might want to talk to Michael and Jenny just on a complimentary introductory 5 to 10 minute call. Hit my cell phone right now. Get your pens ready. I'm going to give you my private cell phone right now. You'll get a complimentary copy of the book, and I'll give you an intro call and a complimentary opinion of value. Whether you come in for that discovery meeting we're describing or just a phone call, I'll give you a value because you don't know if you want to sell
unless you know what you're worth.
It's 469-995-6060. My cell phone, direct. For a free copy of the book right now, 469-995-6060. Bless you if you're a business owner dealing with all that headache and heartache and employees and taking care of all those families. I'm a business owner. Jenny's a business owner. We get it. We understand the weight, simply the weight that you have on your shoulders. It's highlighted in the 2,000 to 3,000 discovery meetings that we've already done, the 230 companies that we've sold. So
I think it should be said too that we've said this in other shows in the past, but it's a great time to exit. If you're close to retirement, it's a great time to exit when you're peaking, when you're high.
When you're at least stable.
Until you're having trouble.
At least stable. If you're stable, doesn't matter if you did 2.7 1 year or 2.6, then 2.8, then 2.75, then 2.9. Like if you're stable in the gross and the EBITDA, the net, and everything's looking hunky dory, don't wait till it downturns.
So many times people wait till it downturns.
I'm going to talk about it when we come back from the break.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk about it because it needs to be told. I've had 3 calls this week where all of a sudden, it's like something happened in the business. General manager leaves, right? So let's talk about a few other reasons why in the discovery meeting people are selling. We wait for that question in the end of the hour and a half, 2 hours. Why are you selling?
Right.
Sometimes I get jumpy and I ask it in the middle because I just want to ask it. But typically, it's the last question I ask. Why are you selling your business? Right. So we've covered, a few different things. A few others would be, I just have I have a passion that I'm already doing. In other words, my business is running itself, sort of, because there's no such thing as an absentee business, just semi-absentee. So you're semi-absentee. It's running itself. You have key employees or managers running it, and you're already doing your hobby, and you love it. You
want to spend all your time.
All your time there. I see that all the time, and it's my honor then to write that down as a goal. Because remember, their goals are our goals. Your goals are our goals if you're a business owner. We have no other goals.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
You want to build antique. I had a guy that wanted to. He buys Jeeps and he just kind of soups them up. You know, he lifts them and does all the stuff. And
we've heard farming. We've heard ministry.
Moved to Cabo. Speaking of Cabo, I'm going this week to Cabo. I'll be in Cabo for 5 days. It's our Cabo men's trip number 10. All our best referral partners are going. 7 men, including Ed Too Tall Jones, is going with us. 6'9". He could probably draw a lot of attention at the swim-up bar this week.
Probably so. I'm jealous. I want to go. Not with y'all, though. I don't think I want to go with a group of men.
If you haven't heard, we have 2 Dallas Cowboys Super Bowl champion ambassadors, Ed Too Tall Jones and Randy White. They're a blessing. Their quotes are on the back of my book. If you'd like a copy of that book, right now, again, hit me on my confidential cell phone at 469-995-6060. First 5 callers to hit me on my cell phone at 469-995-6060. Be glad to give you a copy of the book. Their quotes are on the back. But, Ed Too Tall Jones is going with us, and I'm excited to get away and decompress. I do. I work hard to vacation. I really do. I love going on vacations with Christy. We go on a few of them a year, and we go on the men's trip. The men's trip, I'm excited because the biggest decision is what beer I want at the swim-up bar.
Oh, goodness.
There is no. My kids are grown. They're out of college. I'm an empty nester. I'm living that season. For those of you that are approaching empty nesterville, it's awesome. Christy, if you're listening, I love doing it with you, babe.
My biggest decision, if I was in Cabo, would be beach or pool.
I do both. Sometimes I want to float in the ocean. I call it the ocean.
The ocean?
The ocean.
Oh, wow. You are bougie.
Or we go to the pool.
If you have a nickname for ocean,
well, the resort, I tell you what, the resort we're staying at, the Cape, is where we're staying. The Cape in Cabo has the best sushi at the swim-up bar. So that's bougie. When there's sushi at a swim-up bar,
in the heat,
it's really good. I'm telling you, it's awesome.
Know.
Okay,
I don't know.
We'll get back to the show.
Oh my! I don't know. I think I like the pool better than the beach.
All right, anyway. we're gonna actually we have 1 minute to talk about any other thoughts about why people are selling.
Oh,
I've got a couple.
Okay,
I got a couple more.
For it.
I don't have a daughter or son to take over the business.
Yes.
We always ask.
Right.
We want to know.
Right.
Because what are we interested in? Carrying on the generational legacy of that business, no matter what.
Right.
And that comes before price and structure sometimes. We're going to get into structure on another radio show, how we structure these things, cash, seller financing, right? We don't do earnouts. We'll talk about why MDR Associates doesn't do earnouts. They're designed to not be paid.
Right.
That's why we don't do earnouts. Right. But yeah, I mean, one other reason I would highlight, of all the reasons, we already covered the burnout. We covered I don't have a son or daughter to take over the business, employee issues. I lost my key employee, right?
Yep.
one other would be, I just want to go retire.
Yeah, I want to
hear
travel.
retire, that's the best one.
I want to spend time with my
travel,
grandkids.
retire, golf, slow down, smell the roses, go fishing.
Yeah.
Right? We all want to get to the end of our career, be on a boat, or at least guys do, with a fishing pole and a beer.
Yeah.
If that's you, hit me on my confidential and private cell phone.
Not me.
Not you, Jenny?
Not me.
If that's you as a business owner, hit me on my private cell phone right now at 469-995-6060. 469-995-6060. All right, North Texas business owners, we'll be right back with Sell Your Company for Maximum Value. Welcome back, business owners from North Texas. I'm Michael D. Rubin with MDR and Associates. Our show is called Sell Your Company for Maximum Value. I'm in the studio with our dynamic, high-level Chief Financial Officer,
blushing.
Jenny Swain.
Oh, wow. I feel like there should be like a trumpet. Dun, da, da, da.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jenny Swain.
Oh, man.
Should we tell some stories about previous business owners? What do you think?
Yeah.
227 closings.
Yep.
About 10 closings ago? I think this was a couple years ago. Year and a half, 2 years ago.
This was early in my tenure.
Early. You came on 3 years ago, so maybe it was 3 years ago. Anyway, we get a call off the internet. We've done a lot of SEO, meaning if you put in M&A Advisor, any city in Texas, we're on the first page, MDR and Associates. We've done a lot. We've invested online to be organically placed high up in the search engines, and that's how I got this call. They called the 855-637-2020 number, which is our main number on the internet, 800-637-2020. And they called. His name was Steve, and he ran Inland Geodetics, the only survey company engineering firm to use in Central Texas.
Okay.
Unbelievable. He tells me the story. Him and Brenda are looking to sell, and they found us on the internet. Would you come see us? I said, where are you located? We're in Austin. I said, I'll be there tomorrow at 2 o'clock. I'd got in my car, drove down to Austin at Saltgrass on the side of I-35. We had our discovery meeting.
At Saltgrass.
And some fried shrimp.
Okay.
We had some fried shrimp.
No sushi.
No sushi.
No, man.
And sat with Brenda and Steve, told them what our fee was. They said, we really want to get $1.8 million. I said, well, what's your EBITDA? What's your net? What's your EBITDA? They said, I don't know, 500-600, I think. We're not sure.
Right.
By the time you got a hold of it, Jenny on the block, it was $1 million net.
Yeah, we had some ad backs.
Yeah, 900 to $1 million. That took the price up from wherever they wanted to wherever I thought it was. We like to do what? Sell company for minimum or maximum?
Oh, maximum.
Maximum value.
100%.
There's a real story here. Steve and Brenda. They're I don't know what they're doing. They're floating around probably in the Bahamas right now.
Probably
but anyway, we listed it. We ran our process. It's a survey company, right?
Right.
We put it on the websites, and God breathed on it. When I put it on all the websites, we pay to be at the highest level of BizBuySell, Axial, all the other websites out there. It's kind of like the MLS. And we had somebody call in, and guess what they did out of the Marine Corps, in the Marine Corps? Their entire 7 years in the Marine Corps. Surveys. Frank.
Yep.
Said he'd been on Wall Street, saved $1.2 million to buy a company. He was an 810 credit score. He'd already pre-qualified with Live Oak Bank, SBA, and I want to buy it. Yeah. We already had another buyer. I'd flown into Austin to do a buyer-seller meeting with Steve and Brenda at, I think it was at a boardroom or a coffee shop. It was at a coffee shop. They had a favorite coffee shop they want to go to. So we did the buyer-seller meeting at a coffee shop. Magic happened. We're about to accept that offer. I begged Brenda and Steve to meet Frank. You need to meet Frank. I feel led that you need to meet Frank. They meet Frank. We accept his $3.3 million offer.
The magic happened.
The magic happened.
That's right.
Buyer-seller magic happened. And he ended up buying the company for $3.3. He's owned it for a couple of years now. I talked to Steve 2 days ago. That's right. My clients are important to me. I call them after the close. I call them years later. How you doing? What's going on? Steve said the company's going great. They're still doing an awful lot of TxDOT work, awful lot of surveys for the airports and Round Rock and Dripping Springs and Austin. And he's happy. I said, are you happy retired? He goes, oh, you have no idea. You have no idea. And he thanked me again. And that meant the world to me. Right. Years later, they were very happy that we sold for how much more than they wanted?
A lot.
1.5 million more than they wanted. So
Right.
if you're a business owner driving around and you're thinking, man, I want an opinion of value. I want Jenny to look at my books and check out how much we're worth, because you don't know if you want to sell.
Until you know what you're worth.
Then hit me on my private cell phone right now. I'll give you a free copy of the book, a call tomorrow from 10 a.m. to 12 on Monday. And that number, direct to my hip, my personal cell phone is 469-995-6060. 469-995-6060. Give me your name, your business type. I'll get right back to you. But that was a blessing. You know, that's such a blessing. God
Right.
works in mysterious ways.
Right. And I want to say real quick to the business owners, you're hearing Michael talk about, just give me a call. Just let's have a conversation. Don't be intimidated by that. He's super easy to talk to. He wants to know your business. He wants to know what you want. He wants to see if it's a fit. It is not intimidating at all. So just make sure, if you're thinking at all about the opportunity to sell, give him a call.
You know what Steve said a couple of days ago? He goes, "You're obviously not about the commission." I go, why do you say that? He said, "You called me 3 or 4 times since I retired.
Yeah.
My only goal is the business owner's goal.
Right.
I'm led by the Lord, led by the Holy Spirit sometimes. I want to do God's work."
Right.
Did you know that 60% of our clients, our business owners, have gone into church work or full-time ministry?
Oh, that's great.
That's unbelievable. Think about how that's so impactful for the kingdom of God.
Yeah.
I'm so fired up about that. Mm-hmm. But I do have that bulldog side when I'm fighting for their value.
That's right.
I fought with Frank from 1.8 to 3.3 million.
Right.
And it was a fair value. It was 3 or 4 times the EBITDA.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to leave any money on the table. And Jenny, you do a great job. I want to take a second and just thank you for coming into our firm a few years ago and making sure our business owners don't leave any value on the table.
Right.
You're a blessing, not just to me, Christy, and MDR Associates, but to every business owner that you've served.
Well, thank you.
You're amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah. So next week, what are we going to talk about next week? After the magic. Today we talked about chapter 9, chapter 10 next week. Right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
After the magical buyer-seller meeting is negotiating the LOI.
Perfect.
Enticing it, negotiating it. We talked about last week finding the perfect buyer. This week, the magical buyer-seller meeting. Next week, we're going to... So tune in next week, folks. Sunday, 12 to 1 on WBAP, 820 and 93.3.
Perfect.
I'm Michael D. Rubin with Jenny Swain. And until next week, be blessed.